Hey friends, Peggy Hall back with you from thehealthyamerican.org. I'm streaming live. It's actually Saturday. I'm giving you a bonus video here. And in just a little bit, I'm about to hop on to my private live monthly webinar where we really go into detail into breaking down the headlines, talking about critical thinking. You can interact with me live and ask questions. And that is my way of supporting all of those that have supported me. And that means if you are a paid subscriber to my Substack, which is peggyhall.substack.com, or even if you have ever sent any donation to support me in these many years that I've been doing this work, that is my thanks to you. If you think you should have gotten an invite, please email support@thehealthyamerican.org. We'll get you all set up. And for those of you that have been on the webinar, it's the same link, the same password. So please keep that handy. And all of these webinars are recorded so you can watch them again. We've had guests like Dr. Sam and Mark Bailey. We've had Amanda Vollmer. We've had Christine Massey. We've had so many of the prominent figures in the truth movement, the freedom fighters, and you don't want to miss that. So we're going to be digging into all of the signs and symbols and what's going on with Charlie Kirk and all of that in the private webinar. So I wanted to give you a little heads up. That's happening in just at 4 p.m. Pacific. But right now, what I did want to talk about is the mass shootings that we're seeing one after the other, and how they're connected to something called the Strong Cities Network. You've heard about the 15-minute cities. I wouldn't be surprised if that's all connected as well. And I want to thank a Healthy American, Shelley, who actually tipped me off to this Strong Cities Network through a series of Gab posts. I'm not really on Gab, but she told me about a truther named Sandra. If you're interested, email support@thehealthy American. I can't really leave links on my YouTube channel because YouTube can give you a strike for the outgoing links, which is why when you leave a comment, don't leave links. Your comment probably will be taken down by the AI bots on YouTube. I want to get into all of that. And I also want to thank the sponsor of today's show, and that is noblegoldinvestments.com. They've been with me from the beginning, and I do not have any what should I say, advertisements actually that YouTube is running on my channel. I don't get a penny from YouTube. And this is a way that I can continue to bring you this content day in, day out. So let me share my screen here. And this is noblegoldinvestments.com. Let me get off of this. And of course, you can always give them a phone call. And the number is there for you at 877-646-5347. The message I have for you is that gold basically has gone mainstream, and you're seeing it everywhere, and the prices keep climbing. Every day, more and more Americans are catching on to the power of gold. And I'm not talking just about gold IRAs or gold certificates. You can get your hands on gold bars, gold coins, and Noble Gold Investments will help you do just that. So you can invest in a way that's safe, that's simple, and that's built for the long run. So the Noble Gold Investments specialists, they are trained and they're here in the United States. And when you give them a call, you'll speak to someone, maybe even someone from the CEO's very family. And I have actually interviewed Colin Plume, the CEO of this company, on this channel before. So you can learn how to go from wondering about what's next to knowing exactly what to do. And whether you're looking to roll over, maybe you do want to keep your money and your gold into an old IRA, 401k, you can do that. You can get the physical coins if you want, and the bars delivered right to your home. And Noble Gold makes the process simple, safe, and stress-free. So you'll get step-by-step guidance, transparent pricing, and US-based service from a team that has handled over $2.5 billion in precious metals transactions. So with Noble Gold Investments, protecting and growing your wealth isn't just their job, it is their commitment. And I would love for you to go to noblegoldinvestments.com. And there is also a promotion going on for those that have a qualified account, and you can get a 10-ounce silver American flag bar and an additional 1-ounce America the Beautiful coin. You don't want to miss out. So check it out at noblegoldinvestments.com. Of course, there's always a disclaimer that I need to share with any kind of investment. There's always a risk of investment, whether it's gold or the stock market or real estate, and past performance is not indicative of future performance. So get your answers from noblegoldinvestments.com. Friends, I want to talk to you about this smart, well, you know all about the smart cities, but have you heard about the Strong Cities Initiative. Now, I have been doing a lot of coverage on these recent events. I don't even like doing that kind of coverage, actually. I don't like to watch the news, but this happens again and again and again. And my goal is to help you get out of the spin cycle and not be traumatized by the fear, the dread, and the terror that is being inflicted on you intentionally by those who want to take away your rights. I would rather dig and ask questions, even if I don't have the answers, than to sit and be gullible and have the wool pulled over my eyes. And when you see these signs and symbols repeated again and again and again, that's when you know to take a second look or a third look or a fourth or even deeper. So let me share my screen and I'll let you know what I'm talking about here. You've got all of these. You've seen this before, right? Most recently, Grand Blanc in French, it would be Grand Blanc Strong, Minneapolis Strong, Boston Strong. That was one of the first ones. Thousand Oaks Strongs, Las Vegas Strong, Spartan Strong. That was MSU, Michigan State University. And when that shooting occurred, immediately there was legislation passed in the state house there that had the red flag laws, meaning that authorities could come take away your guns just because somebody thinks that you might commit a crime. So forget the Constitution. It's all about mind reading. How about Tuskegee Strong, Isla Vista Strong, and on it goes. And I asked myself, why is it that they all use the same terms and they have the t-shirts ready to go and everything else? Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's from the Strong Cities Initiative. Here it is. Strong Cities works with its city members, national governments, and international partners to marshal financial aid and in-kind resources from governments, including the United States. Now, let me share their website with you, and I'll have that in my Substack, peggyhall.substack.com. And I am putting together, with the help, as I say, my Healthy American Shelley indicated that there is a person like me who posts on Gab. I'm not on Gab, but she does a lot of the connecting the clots, as I say, with all of these mass events. So I want to thank Shelley and Sandra for alerting me to this network, which I believe has really been a part of what we're seeing. So I just made a couple of notes here that I want to reference. So, friends, it's the same old script writers, the same old lousy performers, the actors that really need to go to acting school, and then all of the predictable aftermaths that we see in these events, including the smirking, basically, the duper's delight, the dry-eyed families, victims. I'm going to show you a couple pictures in just a moment. Immediately, they're out calling for gun control. If that happened to a loved one, don't you think you would grieve? I couldn't even get out of bed for 2 weeks after my dog passed away. I couldn't come on here and make videos. And when I did, you could see the indelible etching of grief and sorrow on my face and in my eyes. It changes you forever. And that was one of my most recent losses. I've had plenty of losses and tragedies in my life. And I'll tell you that they each leave a scar of emotional pain. Yet I'm not seeing any of the emotional pain on these victims' families or the witnesses that are supposed to have been traumatized by what they saw. Instead, they're talking about gun control. They've got basically scripts that they're trying to remember, and they trot out all of the talking points. You see all the GoFundMes popping up left and right, the candlelight memorials, and of course, the t-shirts and the posters with the tagline, fill in the blank, in this case, Grand Blanc Strong. So have you ever wondered why they all sound the same? Well, it's, in my opinion, it's because of these organizations. This one in particular, the Strong Cities, it came out with Obama, and that was back in 2015. Yes, the Boston bombing happened prior to that, but I think that was kind of their test case, because let me share this with you again. This Strong Cities network that was also bankrolled by the UN. So it was announced by Obama's then Attorney General, Loretta Lynch. And this Strong Cities network was designed to counter a range of domestic and global terror threats. So we see that word strong pop up again and again. And of course, the United Nations loves the words like resilience and unity, sustainability, global networks, strong communities, all of that. Those are their calling cards as well. So your money pays for this Strong Cities network that came online in 2015. So they are celebrating their 10-year anniversary. And I guess in accordance with their 10-year anniversary, they're having all of these additional events happening all around us. So let me share with you just a few who are in this global network. And here, I just plucked this off the website. We've got, I just chose these few: Chattanooga, Tennessee, New York, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Well, how do you like them apples? These were some of the most recent. Oh, am I even showing my screen? Yes. These were some of the most recent events that we saw in the news. So in 2025, in July, there was a mass shooting that occurred at 345 Park Avenue in Midtown Manhattan. And the Annunciation Catholic Church shooting happened the following month. And there was a mass shooting. I'm going to share with you the picture of a bereaved father, and you tell me if those things add up. And then, of course, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Well, that was Minneapolis, Minnesota, in Annunciation at Catholic Church. And then we're getting a lot of these churches now because the people who attend churches are typically more conservative. They want to hang on to their guns. And these events are taking place in cities and states where people typically believe in their freedoms. Yes, even New York, believe it or not. So here we have Chattanooga shootings, 4 Marines killed at Tennessee U.S. Navy Center. Remember that back in the day. So what we have next is we have, oh, this is the father of the child who was killed in the shooting. You can just see the devastation etched deep into his face. I don't know if he's thinking about the GoFundMes that are coming up or the fact that he got to be on TV. We could probably tear apart what he's wearing on his shirt and all of the other symbols and signals, but we don't even need to do that. We just look at his face. How about this? Oh, these are the fathers of the Marines slaying in Tennessee. You can see the utter devastation, and not to mention the duper's delight. You know, I could break all these down for you. It's really unnecessary because they all fall under the same script writers and the same lousy performances. And I believe they do that on purpose to mock and ridicule those who are so gullible they can't see. And to know that it irritates us to no end. Seriously now, how about the victims? The names usually are a little strange, the spelling, and Didarul Islam, Wesley La Patner, okay, Julia Hyman, Aland, not Alan, Etienne. And of course, this is a call for gun control. The images out of everyday images that you could get off your phone, these are the ones that they want to share that look at this guy in the bottom. That completely looks like it was AI generated. And then the witnesses that can barely contain their duper's delight, thinking about their paycheck. This, we're told, this man has a blood splattered shirt. And of course, he had shrapnel, not from a bullet, but from glass. I think he meant shards. Couldn't keep his lies straight. Oh, excuse me, his lines. And of course, the neighbors, tickled pink to be on TV, saying that they were absolutely devastated by what was going on. Let's not forget the Mormon elders. This was just a day or two after we are told the church was not only rammed into with a truck that had nary a scratch on it. Believe it or not, people want to argue with me about that. It's absolutely hilarious how they don't take my virus away is what they're screaming. The media told them there was a virus. They want that virus. Don't tell them there's not a virus. And certainly don't tell them there's no scratches on the truck that ran through a brick wall. And somehow the American flags are still standing in the back of the truck. I shared that with you yesterday. How come they weren't bent going through a brick wall? Gee, kind of like planes flying through steel. Well, they could not contain their delight. Probably there will be lots of GoFundMes for these so-called victims as well. So friends, the point that I'm making here is there are bad actors, and I'm not just talking about the ones on the screen. There are bad actors behind all of this. And it seems to me that because we've got organizations that are being bankrolled with your tax dollars, that are then funneling this money behind candidates such as Alyssa Slotkin. And I showed you that picture before. She is a senator from the state of Michigan who just happens to live right down the street from where this shooting took place. Oh, and let's not forget to mention that her first job was a CIA agent. I think it's still her job, if you know what I'm saying. And she was funded by this other group, the largest anti-gun lobby in the United States, called Every Town for Gun Safety. Reminds me of vaccine safety. Yes. And it is all starting to become clear to me, friends. I hope it's becoming clear to you as well. You know, a random guy or girl or guy who thinks he's a girl or vice versa, who knows these days, just starts shooting at random people for a random reason. And it's always that the shooter's randomly and conveniently killed or kills himself or herself. So we can never get to the bottom of it. Oh, except in the case of Charlie Kirk. I guess that's going to be another made for TV drama. I don't know if you're old enough to remember the O.J. Simpson trial. Yeah, I would dig into that a little more deeply too, because that riveted the nation back before we had cell phones and Facebook and YouTube. Everybody was riveted to the TV screens to watch this drama played out. And guess who benefited? Well, all the advertisers, of course, all of the eyeballs on the TV screens. So it's possible that this episode with Charlie Kirk is going to be carried out for those eyeballs as well. So I am concluding that these groups, like the Strong Cities Network and Every Town for Gun Safety, are leaving their fingerprints and their calling cards all over all of these incidents. On Monday, I'm going to give you how to spot a PSYOP, and you'll have a little handy checklist, and you can just go down the checklist. I gave you a lot of clues in this one here, and I need to end up and close out by answering the question that pops up again and again. Not from those that have been on my channel a long time, because I've covered it many times, but inevitably someone will say, Peggy, why would they do this? Why would Charlie Kirk do this? Why would the Mormon church do this? Why would anyone be in on this? Well, you have to just answer that question yourself. My question is, why wouldn't they do it? First of all, if they believe in the cause, if they believe in getting rid of guns, and they believe in the religion of evil, then they will do anything to support that. Then there are those who might be blackmailed, who want to be on TV, like you saw with the Duper's Delights. Maybe they're getting paid to do that. Maybe they actually are CIA agents, and this is their role. It's so possible. You have to expand your mind to accept that. And then there might even be prisoners who are told that their sentence is going to be shortened if they play along. So there are plenty of people willing to do this. And because it looks like the population is so gullible, not everybody has to be in on it. They can have terrible production qualities, terrible actors, and people fall for it because they are mesmerized, they are gullible, and they believe what they see on TV. But I'm sure that you are starting to see it and to read between the lies. I do this because I cannot stand for people to be traumatized and terrorized by what they see on the news. I want you to be able to sleep well at night. And so when you spot these events, you can say, I'm not going to fall for it. I'm not worried about somebody coming in and shooting up my church, but they want you to be afraid of it. Why? You're exactly right. Because fearful people are easier to control. They create chaos and they inflict their order out of that chaos. And that means more gun control. That means more surveillance. That means like in the Tulsa State Fair now, as I understand it, there's going to be drones taking pictures of your face for your safety. Of course, it's for your safety. And you'll have to have a QR code so you can be tracked once you're inside. Of course, because some random guy might show up randomly at the fair and do harm to random people. Are there bad guys out there? Absolutely. Do these incidents occur? They do. On a mass level like this, with this frequency, no, they don't. There's usually something else behind it. And I do know people, sadly, who have families where they have lost someone to a tragedy, to a criminal. It does occur. But when you see these you're not going to see their families going on TV, setting up GoFundMe's, wearing a t-shirt that says strong and going on TV, laughing and smirking. That's the difference. So don't fall for these friends. I'm going to give you more ammunition. Can I use that word coming up? Because I believe that when you dig through this, you are going to be empowered rather than powerless. And remember, when you're operating out of fear, anxiety, and emotion, that's when the bad guys have the upper hand. Thanks so much for being with me, everybody. I'm going to hop on to my live stream now, with my live webinar, and I hope you'll join me over there. And if not, I'll see you next time. In fact, back on Monday, right here, I broadcast at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, and I look forward to our next get